Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli, and as the holiday rush has already begun, we had Thanksgiving on Thursday, Black Friday on Friday, and then tomorrow is Cyber Monday, and then Giving Tuesday. All of these fake dollar bills that I stole from my son's little register are like that. And we're going to get credit card bills before you know it. So thinking about gifts to buy our kids that are not necessarily neurotypical, but may have some challenges, I thought that we would bring on Joey Pulley, who's not just a mother and a psychotherapist, but you are now an author. Welcome to the show, Joey.
Thank you so much for having me, Gina.
How are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'd love to hear the story behind your new book. It's fairly new. Your book just came out in September, correct?
It did.
And it's called Ava and the Little Yellow School Bus.
That's it. You got it.
And can you tell me, give me your story, Joey. I'd love to hear your story.
Okay, so Ava was diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder 17 years ago. And at the time when she was diagnosed, my husband and I, we didn't have a clue what we were doing. And so we didn't know what her journey would look like, what our journey would look like. And we soon found out what a blessing she was and what a blessing her diagnosis was. And we found out she was really funny. And my personality is that I like to find humor in things because I think the world is really difficult and hard. And so over the years, I would share her stories of what she was doing and what she was saying. And family and friends would say, Joey, you really need to write a book and you need to write this down. And I would say, I'm just a psychotherapist. I'm not an author. I don't know how to write this down. And so they would say, but you really have to. And I'd say, but I really can't. And so I would tuck that away. But with that being said, being a psychotherapist, I knew how important it was to share and to share our stories and to connect. And I also knew
because her diagnosis is very rare, isn't it?
It is rare, and when she was diagnosed at the age of 1, she was the 20th person in the world that was diagnosed. Yeah.
What exactly, do you mind sharing what her diagnosis is?
No, it's called Potocki-Lupski syndrome, and it's just named after the researchers that found it and developed it, and it didn't even have a name when she was diagnosed.
And what kind of challenges does Ava face because of her diagnosis?
So she has speech delays, she has cognitive delays, she has some heart issues, and she'll always be little. She'll always be cognitively little. But it affects a gene, the 17th chromosome. It's called the happy gene, so she's happy all the time. You can't beat
That's
it.
like
really.
my son.
Really?
Perpetual Peter Pan.
Yeah.
That's what I call Lyric.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It is. And there's something special about people who are always happy.
Yes. Yeah. But also, the flip side of that is that, of course, there's grief, right? There's grief as a parent raising somebody that's different, right? And not fitting in with the milestones that other kids reach, right? And so that's the part of me that thought, you know what? It is important to share. And from time to time, there is that little bit of sadness that, oh, she's not doing the things that other kids are doing. And she won't do the things that her sister does. And so there's always that little part of me that was thinking, I have to find a way to share this. I do want to share it. But yet, I don't know how to do that, right? I don't write. I don't do that. I just share it.
Yeah, Joey Pulley, mother and psychotherapist, and now author. So that brings us to Ava and the Little Yellow School Bus. What can you tell me about the book? I ordered one, and it is yet to get here, so I wish I would have had a little, prop to show everyone, but you can find it on Google, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So the book is just about the journey and the story of raising a child with special needs, but I do it from the vantage point of a child and the family at the same time. So it's about the beauty of raising a child and from the lens of the family, but also that there is just that tinge of sadness at the same time that is a little bit different than a typical person's perspective. but it's both, right? It's beautiful and it's a little bit different and sad. And I really wanted to depict both of those things because it is both.
Well, I can tell you when we moved here, Lyric was in kindergarten, and we put him on the little yellow school bus. And I was initially scared. I was taking him back and forth to school, and then I was like, you know what? He's a big boy. I asked him, I was like, do you want to ride a bus? I was like, do you want to ride the big bus with your friends on the street, or do you want to start with the small bus? And he preferred the small bus. So for one full year, Miss Mary picked him up at the front door and took him to and fro. And then he was like, well, I've graduated the little school bus, Mom. I want to ride the big school bus with my friends. And so I said, okay. So the next year we put him on a big size school bus, and he did great. It was really having to learn that transition and go through something. And then he was like, it's like, yesterday's news.
He was fine with it. Right, right. In the book, the little yellow school bus is the metaphor for just that journey of special needs, right? And for some kids like Ava, she'll always be on a little yellow school bus, right?
Right.
And some, like your son Lyric, might get the opportunity to be on the big yellow school bus, but his life may be on this little yellow school bus forever, right? Maybe
Right.
just a little bit different. And that there are so many beautiful things about it. However, it's not the big yellow school bus, right?
Right.
It's a little bit different.
And now, what is Ava into now? Ava's a teenager, correct?
She's 17, almost 18.
17, almost 18. What is she into at school or with her friends? What does she like to do?
So Ava loves to talk.
Of course, all teenage girls
First, yes, right. That's really typical. She loves to talk and talk and talk. And at her school, she's in a small special needs class. They have a coffee shop where they sell coffee to the kids. She loves being outside.
She's a cheerleader, isn't she?
She is. She's a cheerleader at her school. They have an inclusion program where they get to go out after the first quarter and cheer with the cheerleaders, and she loves it. Yes, her school is amazing. They do a wonderful job of including them in things. She plays soccer, as you know.
Yeah.
And she
Will she play basketball in January?
She may. It's a little overwhelming for her. There's a lot going on. So she has tried it once. She might try it again. But she just loves being around people.
Yeah. I remember when I was a teenage girl, my parents, this is before cell phones or anything, and you might remember this too. Your mom and dad would get on the phone at 9:30 and go, Gina, it's time to get off the phone.
Yes. She loves to FaceTime people.
Right. Joey Pulley, mother, psychotherapist, and brand new author to the world of books. I love Ava and the Little School Bus, the story, the setting, the transitions that families and the kiddos have to go through. Is it reasonably priced, Joey, and where can people find it?
So it's $9.99 on Amazon, and that's the only place that it's sold right now, and that's where you can find it.
Oh, wonderful. So Amazon.com.
That's it, yes.
Maybe you can use the Amazon Smile and think about donating. Is there a particular charity or something that you are passionate and Ava is passionate about? Let's talk about Ava. What is she into? Is there something that we can use the Smile and send a little bit of money that way too?
So we're going to let her choose. After we get to a certain amount, we're going to let Ava choose where the donations go to. All the proceeds will go towards a charity of her choice with some help from her dad and I. Dad and me, excuse me. So we're going to let her choose. And we don't know where that will be. So that's why I say with some help from us.
Now, you just mentioned the school that she's at. She gets to sell coffee in the morning to teachers. Do I see a little barista working at Starbucks or another local coffee shop here for the summer? Because I'm thinking she needs to get a job.
I think you're right. I think we're going to look into that.
Do you think Ava will ever drive?
No, Ava will never drive. She'll never live independently of somebody. I mean, could be me and my husband, could be a group home, but she's cognitively around the age of 5, and that's where she'll stay. But
you should look at my episode with Two Sparrows Village.
Okay.
These ladies down on the south end of town are creating communities for individuals who eventually will outlive their aging parents and need a place to go, will be able to live somewhat independently with like a house mother. You have to look at that episode. It's called Two Sparrows Village. Wonderful people on the south end of town. And they are looking to expand that opportunity to not just up here in the south, on the north side of town, but then really state to state, globally. These are kinds of things that our kids need and that we as parents need to think about for them.
That sounds amazing. Absolutely.
So now that you are an author and you're published and you get to look at this wonderful book every day and the smiles and the memories come back to when Ava was younger, are there any opportunities to maybe write sequels and maybe launch this into yet another reinvention of yourself, however old you are, Joey? Get away from psychotherapy and go into the world of just being an author? What's going on there?
I think I will always be a psychotherapist because that is my love and passion. However, I do see, I want to represent the siblings of the kids with special needs because I do feel like it has to impact them as well. Like throughout the years, I've thought of my other daughter. I have a daughter in college, and I have always been really cognizant of her and how this has impacted her.
How is she doing? How did she do? She's older than Ava by a couple of years. Mm-hmm. How did they do growing up? I know that you had to set a different kind of standard for your daughter, and then she had to rise to the occasion in many instances. That's just like nature, that's just Murphy's Law.
Exactly. And she did really well, and I think it's made her a more compassionate person and a kinder person and a more thoughtful person. However, she didn't sign up for that role, right? It was just given to her. So I am certain that she was robbed of some things, right, that she didn't sign up for. So she's doing great and she's thriving. But I would love to write a book about that and just how it shapes the siblings of individuals with special needs, or the siblings of the siblings of those individuals.
I should tell a little backstory about myself and Joey. We met through the STARS soccer program at the YMCA. Our YMCA, we have wonderful volunteers that have put this STARS soccer together where it's not competitive sports, but the kids get to go out and have a really good time. And I think they should have this all over the country. But I'm trying to get Gus on the show, by the way.
Excellent.
See if we can't get him to nail that down with the YMCA. But anyway, so when we met, and our kids are all different out there on the field, something that I noticed is all of the siblings that come out to play with their siblings, they step up. They're out there so that the parents can just take a minute to talk to and chit-chat with other like-minded parents. No judgment there. Yeah. And that these siblings are out there doing an amazing job with their younger or older brothers and sisters. And just like you said, mentioning your daughter who is neurotypical and doesn't have any challenges, it is a demanding role that they didn't ask for.
Yeah. They are unbelievable in so many ways. I mean, I think that there are a lot of gifts for them, like there are for us as parents, and there has to be some grief for them as well.
Yeah. You learn how to love, you learn how to fight, you learn how to share, you learn everything having a sibling. And that's the one thing I think my husband and I wish we would have given to Lyric, but he's all time consuming. You know what I mean? The therapies, the this, the that, and the other. There just wasn't really any time to even stop and think about having another one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's very expensive too when you figure in the costs of therapies or medical attention or allergies. You have to go here and there and everywhere. It gets to be a little much.
It certainly does. I mean, that's a real piece of it.
Joey Pulley, mother, psychotherapist, and now author of Ava and the Little Yellow School Bus. What's a good takeaway, I think, Joey, that you'd like everybody to know about this book? And what are some things that you would like to share with other families that are interested? Because this is an inexpensive Christmas present or holiday gift that really you can give to a coworker who might be having and their own struggles or whatnot. What would you like to say about that?
I guess I want people to know that, first of all, I think the book is good for anybody, not just people that are in this situation, raising a child with special needs. It's a heartwarming book. It's a book about community. It's about love. It's about it's just about not being alone. It's about being in community with one another. I think that's the message that I want to send. I think that's the takeaway. That's the most important takeaway. Because I think it's really important that we don't go through this life alone.
Well, I know that Ava is not alone. She is a sweetheart. She's so cute and she's so endearing. And that perpetual Peter Pan her and Lyric have in common for sure.
I agree. They're both absolute dolls, and I think I can speak in generalities and say so many of these individuals are.
Now, has she started thinking about what she wants for the holidays?
Well, all she's focused on right now is that she doesn't want Santa to steal her toys at night when she goes to bed. It's keeping her up at night that she's afraid he will come in and steal them. So, no, not really what she wants, but what she doesn't want.
Which I can tell you, Lyric is all about this Nintendo Switch.
Ooh.
All the kids have them in the neighborhood. Now, Lyric has a PS5, but all he wants to do is play this Nintendo Switch. So, of course, he's writing his letter to Santa Claus. Let's see if Santa delivers.
Somehow I bet he might.
I have a feeling. Our kiddos are too sweet not to kind of indulge in whatever they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
As families, we try to make this happen. And Joey Pulley, thank you so very much for being on the show. And more importantly, thank you for writing this book, because I don't think, come to think about it, and you and I are moms, so we've been there, done that with all the little books and the time. You know, I don't think there's a whole lot of books like this out there on the market.
Well, not that I could find. So I hope that it's unique, but I don't know. I know it's special to me, and I hope that people will find that it's special to them.
I mean, for $9.99 on Amazon, how can you go wrong? And then if you put the Amazon Smile in, maybe you can donate. A little portion of that goes to a charity. And eventually, Ava will be giving some of this money to her favorite charity, too.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Joey, so very much for coming on the show. And again, Amazon.com, you want to look for Ava and the Little Yellow School Bus. And can they also Google your name? Will it pop up if they do that too, Joey Pulley?
You know, Gina, I don't know. I should probably know that, but I don't.
You've never Googled yourself.
No, I
should try
haven't.
Googling. Yeah, Google yourself sometime. It's kind of crazy what comes up there.
Perhaps I should, and maybe I should do that first before you tell everybody to.
There's a picture of me at the dentist with a big bright light in my mouth. It looks so gorgeous.
I'm going to do that now. I'm going to Google you.
Yeah, it's not pretty. I wish there was a way to get that off, quite honestly.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Mother, psychotherapist, and now an author. You must get this holiday gift. Ava and the Little Yellow School Bus. Thank you so much for being on the show, Joey.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
As we navigate this journey we call life, it's so wonderful to find community and support within that community. Nobody asks to be in this club, but once you are in it, you do realize there is a community and a whole world of support. And with the holidays right around the corner, you know what? This is an inexpensive present that you can get and hop online anytime at Amazon.com. Use your Smile account. A little money will go to your favorite charity. Think about donating it. And then that way, Joey and her daughter will be able to donate a little bit of money later down the road. Until next time, we live life with the spectrum. See ya.